What's up, Zits and Zombies? I've been wanting to revisit all of the older Batman films, including the technical original one with Adam West, because, well, I've been a huge Batman fan since I was a kid, and I feel like they all deserve for me to make some kind of a video for each of them, even though there are a couple that I don't particularly care for, like Batman Returns and Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin isn't even a Batman movie. It's a circus. It's a damn mess. I'll get to that in the future. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Batman Returns first because it's honestly the one I've watched the least amount of times out of the entire older franchise, and I wanted to give it a go again as an adult that has been married for 10 years, has 3 dogs, and a baby daughter, a house, a schedule, and many other things going on that has matured me in different ways to see if maybe I can actually get into this bat flick finally. And the answer is nope. I actually think I like it even less now after watching it again. I do appreciate it as a Tim Burton offering and as part of the Batman film franchise, and while it has many strengths that make me see why there are a lot of people that dig this sophomore effort of Bruce Wayne doing some detective work in the Batcave while Alfred jams to some elevator music and taps into the radio frequency to ruin the Penguin's campaign speech to try to convince the good citizens to vote him in as the mayor of Gotham. Damn, those bass lines must be grooving. While Batman Returns is a solid effort from Mr. Burton as a Batman film, it just feels like he crammed too much of his signature gothic wavelengths and kooky psychotic imagery in for its own good, and to me it always has kind of felt just off. The first Batman he directed in 1989 worked, and is considered one of the best comic book movies of all time, because he was able to strike a very steady balance between him going a little too overboard with the crazy colors and imagery, alongside the dark prose and subtle tragic comedy that made all of the main characters fuse together to form a flow and pace, which made the first Batman fun and enjoyable, again, even though it was really dark. Batman in general is supposed to be dark. Here, I just have always felt that he went too far with putting his signature weird characters and bright colors into the mix, which makes the film feel bloated and empty at the same time. That in and of itself is something that should be praised, I guess, because how often can you say that about a movie, but whatever. I've always kind of felt too that Catwoman here is just, well, here. I see the purpose of Max Shreck and obviously the Penguin, but what's the point of shoving Catwoman in here? Shreck is the big industrial wealthy douchebag that wants to ruin Gotham for his own gain and profit by way of building some stupid power plant, and the Penguin is the sympathetic woe-is-me depressing confused reject turned villain, because really all he wants to do is figure out what happened to his parents, who they were, and why they threw him in the sewers when he was first born. Catwoman is just here as a third wheel for sex appeal, I guess. Her character honestly is just shoehorned in to say, hey, guess what? Catwoman is a main Batman character, and since she's eventually going to be in one of these movies, let's just shove her in here to fill a void. The whole scene of her getting shoved out the window by Shreck and basically gets brought back to life by a bunch of random cats licking her has always been so awkward and absurd. Even in the world of the comic book or on a fantastical level, it's ridiculous and just isn't going to happen. I'll be honest with you, Zits and Zombies, though. I really think that Batman Returns would have worked a lot better if they had just stuck with Shreck and Penguin as the villains and maybe had Michelle Pfeiffer just play Selina Kyle as Bruce Wayne's girlfriend or something to that effect, and possibly play Catwoman in a good Batman spin-off. Not that shit show Catwoman with Halle Berry. Sweet Jesus. It would have given more room to the script to flesh out Shreck and Oswald Cobblepot even further, so their characters could have had more depth and deeper character arcs, but as they are, they feel rushed just to get to the end game. After all of this negativity that I've given so far towards Batman Returns, there are many things that were done right that do make this something better than what the original franchise ended up being coming out the other end before Christopher Nolan took over. Right away when the film opens, you immediately get a spoonful of Tim Burton's very dark, depressing vision of what he thinks Gotham City should look like, and the overall tone is really strong. You know that he directed this just by ingesting the cinematography by way of his bizarre camera angles, muted monochromes, and his actors' facial expressions. That's also what makes the use of color throughout the picture more in your face, which sometimes is good and sometimes is just too much, as I stated earlier. Danny Elfman's score for the first Batman film is just so damn good and well composed that you know what it is immediately the second it starts playing. I've sat down and listened to his music for both this picture and the first Batman, and I have to say that I actually like the compositions better for Batman Returns over the original. The score here is so cold, oppressive, and sad to be paired with what the Penguin is feeling most of the time, and I feel like it works really well in conjunction with the tone of the film. Tim Burton's aesthetic approach to it being the dead of winter and Christmas time, which should be a time that people are happy and giving gifts to one another and laughing and having a good time, just build up against itself to make the icy, emptier feeling parts of the movie just that much more potent. The enemies in this newer version of Gotham are great too, as I have always been a fan of the skeletons on the motorcycles and the organ grinder with the minigun. I want to talk briefly about how I think Danny DeVito as the Penguin is pretty brilliant and plays a broken, psychotic human being that is inherently so as a result of his parents just tossing him in the sewer because of his deformities from birth. All he really wants is just to be accepted for who and what he is, but gets twisted and turned on to the power of controlling Gotham through Shrek and sort of uses Oswald as a puppet to further his own personal gains. Probably the last thing to mention about a positive side for Batman Returns is what little fighting there is present in this film. This scene of Batman beating the crap out of these clowns is pretty satisfying to say the least, and I really wish there was more of it, but unfortunately there isn't. This scene with Catwoman messing with these two cops is fulfilling as well, even though it's on the cheesy side. The dialogue is just so cringeworthy. Listen to this and tell me that you wouldn't laugh or twist your upper lip in embarrassment.
Who is she? What is she? I don't know whether to open fire or fall in love.
You poor guys. Always confusing your pistols with your privates.
Don't hurt us, lady. Our take-home's less than 300.
You're overpaid. Hit the road.
Well, there you have it, Zits and Zombies. I've tried on more than one occasion to really like Batman Returns because it's a Batman movie and it's also a Tim Burton movie, but I just can't. There's one too many villains, a lot of weird scenes that cater to an overall unbalanced tone which crumbles very quickly, and Burton's personal directorial touches are just a bit too strong here, which kind of throws it off even more. I plan on taking a deeper look at the other Batman flicks as well, so stay tuned to the same bat time on the same bat channel. See you guys soon.
Look it up.
Not a lot of reflective surfaces down on the sewer, huh?
Still, could be worse. My nose could be gushing blood.
Your nose could be...
What do you mean by that?
Everybody, back to work. Let's make a mayor.